Hello everyone, and welcome back to some more Prismata. I noticed in the last couple of episodes I watched over that there was this kind of like thumping noise occasionally, clipping, bumping, something. I had gotten some wires tangled up, and every time I moved the mouse more than a tiny little bit, it bumped into something that eventually contacted the microphone, so I believe that that is fixed now. Sorry about that, hope it wasn't too disruptive. Ruined Shadows is streaming. Why am I recording? I should just go watch that. Sounds more fun. Actually, let's watch Junk Mail versus Penrosary. Penrosary started playing a month ago. He's been pretty active in the Discord. Still a lot to learn, but it looks like he was in rank tier 9 now, is that right? Yeah, cool. So, it's good to see him progressing. And Junk Mail was just complaining in the global chat that he'd recently dropped out of the top 200. So, seemed like a pretty fair match. Anyway, K-Mean T. Comment? I don't know. What do we do here? The absorbers are like Doomed Wall and Zatron, which seem pretty good together. Frostbooter is good against Doomed Wall, but not so great against Zatron. My opponent seems to think it's a very high econ set. Can I punish this? With like Electivore, Comet, and then Valk? Like, I agree it's sort of high econ, but I don't know if you can justify 4 engineers. And this is a reasonable combo of like doing a lot of stuff. I think I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try something a little bit aggressive. Or quite aggressive, I guess. And I'll go ahead and grab another engineer here. I guess it's not useful yet, since I can't do anything with it next turn. I'm just building like 2 Tarsiers and actually, 2 Vors is probably better, right? Anyway, 2 Vors and like a Vivid. I can't make any use of the extra energy, so might as well float the money. Or, well, 2 Tarsiers, I guess, because I don't really want to spend my energy. Do I? Like, this gets the attack a little bit faster than Tarsiers, but it costs me this energy, which I'm making great use of for now. Actually, this engineer didn't do a lot for me, did it? Yeah, I'm not so convinced by what I'm doing here. I feel like my opponent is ahead. He's just gonna get a Doomed Wall, and then all this is doing almost nothing, so maybe I should just build Tarsiers, get the Vors later. Yeah, this is not being executed very well, I'm afraid. I would really like more tech, but I did sort of choose not to do that when I cut all these drones. Like, I want the comet, right? The comet is part of the point of all this. Just Electrovores is not enough to compete with Zatron Doomed Wall, I'm quite certain. And I'm now coming to the conclusion that what I'm doing isn't either, even if I were to somehow get a comet. He's actually gonna comet first, isn't he? Ugh. Like, I can do this, I guess. Get first comet. Yeah, this is kind of a problem for him, I think. I don't know. If he comets back, it's not, like, so amazing for him. The Frostbeard is just a tiny bit too late to take advantage of the Doomed Wall. What am I doing? I have a comet coming in. I should be building engineers. Electrovore is fine, but not drones or conduits. I can get... Yeah, this... I guess this is okay. This comet sucks. I don't know. He's not that far up in econ, and I'm way up in attack. So maybe this is okay. And then I can just pour out Electrovores coming up next. Like, so freezing this doesn't do much. It makes him lose the 2 Rhinos, but they're not that important yet. I'd rather save the threat. Yeah, I mean, I'd like my own Valk, but... I love these drone holds. Although, isn't he sort of overdoing it? No, he's not. Well... I have 3 less freeze if I don't freeze the Zatron. If I do freeze the Zatron, the breach isn't actually that important, I guess. No, I'll just get more Vores, right? Like this. Ooh, he doesn't have any walls. The Frostbite's not getting that much value right now. Can I even do anything with it? So right now he's keeping alive 7 health. That's losing 1 of these, right? And so, like, freezing doesn't really help at all. I guess I'll freeze the engineer, but it doesn't make any difference. A second engineer would make him lose another attacker, but I don't think that's so impactful. Here, I'm getting to keep only 6 engineers. No, because he has to lose something, so this is still fine. Now, freezing the Valk is pretty okay value, I guess. Hmm. So, like, I can do this, but that's not really that impactful. I think freezing the Doomed Wall is the best value I'm going to get out of these guys. He has to lose at least one of these attackers. 2 if I freeze here, I guess. So he's attacking for at most 9. 5, 8, 9. So that's losing at most one engineer. I can cope with that. Is this... Yeah, this isn't... This is not a breach. I really wish I had, like, one more frostbite. But I don't. So let's see. I need to keep... I can lose at most one engineer. I need to keep 8 alive. This does it. But actually he's losing at least one attacker. The Vor, I guess, right? Since it's not attacking anyway. These rhinos are about to start defending, which means I wish I had gotten a chance to freeze them a little bit sooner. So right now he's keeping, what, 5 health alive? Yeah, that's just the 2 rhinos. No walls, no Vor. So he's really attacking for 10, so I do want to do this. Okay. I have way more attack, but it's all extremely fragile, right? Everything hangs in the balance of these engineers living. It looks like we got there. I wasn't sure that was going to happen. Whew. I'm like, I don't know why this game in particular had me so nervous, but like my heart is pounding here. I don't know, maybe that's an overstatement, but I don't know, I feel like it's weird because the last session that I played, I mostly won, but I still feel like an awful Prismata player, and like any win at all, I'm like, oh, thank God. Maybe just in the wrong frame of mind. So I think if my opponent hadn't done this, I would go for something moderately high econ, right? Get 2 drones and then like Vivid NG drone, no, double drone engineers. I don't know, like get a 3rd engineer, go into some sort of doomed wall thing with Zatron, but I think that committing this hard to it puts you at risk of Electivore, Frostbrooder, Comet, Valk, like just pretty serious. And I don't know. I started with Tarsiers because I was worried like he's going to be able to build walls, and like that's true. I don't know. If these 2 had been Vors, they definitely would have hit his engineers right away, and that could have caused him some pain. But then, like on the next turn, I wouldn't really have much. I don't know. Like, maybe one of these could... I don't know. It was hard to figure out whether I should be building Vores or Tarsiers. Because almost whatever combination I build, he can... Between Wall and Doomed Wall, he can arrange some set of absorbers that frustrates me. When I just build 2 Tarsiers first, the absorber is Wall. Maybe if I'd built Vores, he would have had to build Doomed Wall, and like that would have been better, maybe? But then I can't drone as long, which seemed important when I wanted to get into red, green, blue. And yeah, this Frost Breeder a little too late. So that's the thing to keep in mind, is like, I don't have a good mental mapping of like how to time various time-sensitive units against other time-sensitive units. Like, okay, Tarsiers and Walls. I know how that works, right? If you build 2 Tarsiers, then when your opponent builds a Blast Forge, the Wall arrives just in time. Like, that's a pretty simple interaction, but it's kind of related to the Frostbrooder Doomed Wall interaction. In this case, if you build a Frostbrooder, no. If you build a Frostbrooder before your opponent's Doomed Wall, you'll have enough to freeze it. But if you build a Frostbrooder after, you won't. So, like, that's something I should try to keep in mind in future. Getting the Comet was pretty cool. And then just having mass Electivores. Pretty sick. These units are disgusting if you don't have to pay for the engineers. These Electivores. And in particular, if your opponent can't afford to attack them. They're pretty good. Yeah, this poor Frostbite feels bad. What? So I wonder why he did this instead of losing the Vor. I don't know. I guess the Vor and the Rhinos were all basically just defending forever. And freezing the Doomed Wall denied him a little absorb and made him lose an attacker, but it would have, if I had just like one more Frostbite somehow, I could freeze it at 3 and 2 and 1, which would be really great. Here, he got soak value out of it on lifespan 2, but yeah, and then I guess this Valve just put on way too much pressure. I have so much attack. Cool. Well, how lovely to win a game. Let's try again. Hunt versus Flop Flop. Yeah, I was gonna say those two. It must be a bullet game, right? Brian Twy, Brian Ty, I don't know. Let's watch them. I've never heard of this person, and they're in the top 200, so I guess I should learn. Turret. Yeah, it seems like everything here should see some play, right? Like, this is... Fission Turret is the star of the show because of Aegis and Reservoir. And Doomed Mech and Infusion Grid provide a good basis, a good defensive stronghold to let you get your Reservoir going. Right? If you start with an Infusion Grid and some turrets, and like get a Reservoir and then the second blue for Doomed Mechs, you start that train going to defend with, and then when your Reservoir arrives and you've clicked a bunch of Fission Turrets, you just like get to do a bunch of cool stuff. So I haven't looked at whether this guy's line is the right one. I don't see Reservoir, but even maybe without it, you know, maybe with just Aegis, Fission Turret is good enough. I also don't see grid though. Like, I'd rather have a grid so I can click all the Doomed Mechs. I guess the red player was putting on a lot of pressure. Maybe you never got a chance. But even so, we have a lot of absorb here. Seems like we should overtake them, but I don't know. Next turn, I guess you're building Doomed Mech Fission, Force Field to defend. Holding this back. Yeah, I think I like Mythic's spot. It seems like Brian Twy is losing the ability to build Tarsiers and doesn't really have any other good attackers to play with. I mean, I say losing the ability because they've started building rhinos, right? Usually you don't transfer in the other direction. Yeah, that Reservoir I think is just pretty late and doesn't really fit in if you don't have the blue units. And you haven't been building fission turrets. I think it would be better to just, Oh, okay, I like this. I didn't notice. You got the grid wall instead of a second doomed bank or something like that. Cool. Spectral Wave. We meet again. Hopefully. Yes. Base plus 5. Huh. I was gonna say Ferretin Sack to get you into Hannibals, but actually Flame Animus to get you into Hannibals seems pretty good. I kind of like player 1. DB on turn 2, Flame Animus into a quick Hannibal to let you build efficient attackers and not worry about defending. Seems alright. Does he build a turn 2 Animus, maybe? That's a bit more convenient for him. I don't know, do I want a second Flame Animus? Or do I just want a splitter? So what I want to do next turn is build a Hannibal, right? I guess I'll only be facing one attack. I can afford to lose an engineer to let me get out this Flame Animus and 2 drones instead. And then I can build, like... Well, on 12 drones, I'm not really going to be able to spend 2 red, am I? Not while also spending my blue. Maybe I just want a splitter here. Yeah, that seems better. It got a wall out of my opponent, which is kind of nice. Now, do we just go mass Hannibals? Probably not, right? Probably we get one Hannibal and then go back to building, like, Tarsiers because the opponent will have a Hannibal up as well, and it's going to be a while till we can take it down. Tarsier splitter, I guess. I don't have 2 red, I just have 1. Right. So that was why I did that, so I can keep droning. Or because I don't have enough drones yet to support 2 red. So I could choose not to get the Hannibal yet. If I want. I could build Tarsier Flame Animus drone first. The Hannibal's not really very effective yet, is it? It's only doing 1 damage, and probably only for a single turn because my opponent's about to build a Hannibal. Next turn I can build a Hannibal and a drone. And I'll be closer to taking out his Hannibal having built these efficient attackers. Yeah, I kind of like this. It might just not be right to build Hannibals at all here. I don't know. I guess starting next turn, they're going to get some pretty decent value, right? Opponent's going to have at least 3 attack, possibly more. I guess they'll probably arrange to just have 3, right? Because if I do this, they get good value out of, like, Tarsier Flame Animus or something. Some slow stuff, and then they can easily hit exactly 7. But this way, I'm going to lose an engineer or 2 next turn. I think it might be better to just get this down so that I don't have to worry about being attacked. So this gets me, I don't know, I guess this should be a 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attack easily, which doesn't super matter because my opponent's not building a Hannibal. But I guess Vor and then Tarsier is better than the reverse when you're already over the absorb barrier. Okay. It has to be Rhino, right? Because otherwise I can take out your NGs. I don't know, maybe Vor NG would have worked. Yeah. Sure, you can get to 7 that way. But I think I can just build this. Like, I'm not... I don't know, I'm not getting very good absorb value this way, right? Yeah, I guess this is alright. I really wish I had some green. Is there some way I could make that happen? Also, I know I could build a Ferret and Sack, but... well, maybe it's fine. I'll want blue soon, more than I want red. I'm just floating the red, but the dollar could be pretty important. Yeah, I think I actually want the dollar next turn more. Okay. Wow, really? Does he think I can't attack with everything? Maybe he's right. Well, actually I don't have to hold the drone because he's losing 1 attacker. He can't fire this 4. I can do this. Seems alright. He can turn off one of my Vores. So his main advantage is he has more green. My advantage at the moment is I'm attacking for a bit more. So he's actually attacking for all of this, right? If he wants to keep, he can keep the Vor alive and have all the energies. Okay. So he can attack for all this. Which means I'm losing one NG and the Vor. So something like this? Yeah. I lose the Vor and an NG, but I still have 3 Vors and 3 NGs next turn. I guess? It's starting to look like I might want one of these Ferritin Sacks, huh? For more walls. I don't think I want 2. Do I even want 1? I guess I kind of want to have an odd number of money every turn because of wall and a bunch of NGs / Vors, so maybe 2 is fine. How are the wall supplies? That's what I was looking at, but I didn't pay any attention to the answer. Okay. He has 5, I have like 7 or something. Cool. Well, another win. Maybe I'm not as terrible a player as I thought, huh? Not sure why I won. Maybe because player 1 Flame Animus is pretty good. That's a pretty good reason, actually. He also never got a Hannibal, which I don't know. Is that wrong? Like, he made my Hannibal not get a ton of value, right? He never really attacked into it for much. But I guess it was serving as my wall here, right? Like, having bought this Steel Splitter as a pre-wall, meant that I could use it to block for a turn or 2, and then when I was ready, I was able to transition into using the Hannibal to defend, and the Steel Splitter became an attacker again. My opponent's wall here didn't have that option. So the Hannibal was getting pretty reasonable value because I didn't have an alternate absorber that I was willing to use. So the 3 it was absorbing is actually 3. It's not just like blocking 1 more than wall would have, it's blocking 3 more than nothing would have. So, okay, I guess the Hannibal was actually getting good value. He did well to only attack it for 3 and then like immediately 7, which is sort of what you want to do. But it cost him, right? He had to build a bunch of force fields. And he was never able to build a Hannibal. I don't know if that, like... When was the turn I considered building a second Hannibal? Here, maybe? No, it would be here, of course, right? When he's threatening 7. Here's where I could start a Hannibal train, but this sort of relieves him of the responsibility to build any attack, right? He can just sit tight with the 7 attack he has and take this down every turn. I'm spending 10 to replace it. And what is he spending to deal with all my attacks? I'm not sure. But let's say I do this, right? Then I'm attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, and he's absorbing 2, so he has to build 6 health every turn. It's like wall and 3 NGs. Which costs 11. I don't know. It's surprisingly close, actually. That's most of his money. And it's a little bit more than I'm being cost, right? It's costing me 10. I could float money and occasionally build another Vor. Whereas it's not clear what he can do to add more attack if he's having to spend... I don't know, I guess he can wall force field something. But the point is that, like, it won't even be good for him to build more attack. Because I'll just block Hannibal onto Rhino or something, right? Once he's above that much, above 7 attack. The attack above 7 is sort of wasted. I don't know. Maybe the second Hannibal would have been a good idea. You don't usually go for a Hannibal train when they're attacking for exactly 7. You want to wait until they're attacking for like 7 plus what you're absorbing for. But maybe it would have been fine here. Huh. Okay. And what about one of these turns when I considered... Like here, would it have been good to build a Ferritin Sac? On the next turn, I spent all my money, and I really, really did want all of it. So I think it was right not to. I wanted more money, right? I didn't have enough NGs. Yeah. Okay. And then I finally got Ferritin Sacs here. Now we didn't really get to find out whether they were going to be good or not, but I think they were. Because 13 is sort of the amount I want to have, right? Wall and a bunch of NGs. Cool. I've never seen the damn you're good emote before. I like it. It made me feel good. It was a compliment. Thank you. There you go. Numbers. 32706. Very exciting. And that's 2 games, which, as it often does, brings us to a reasonable length for an episode. So we are done for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.